Have you ever wondered if all that luxury and glamour really lead to happiness? In my 20s, I was living in high life in Shanghai, luxury parties, the latest gadgets, and the endless night out. But something unexpected happened along the way. I realized that all the stuff, the constant hustle, and the pressure to keep up were leaving me feeling more stressed and empty than fulfilled. So I decided to walk away from the chaos and embrace a completely different lifestyle, one focused on minimalism, frugality, and intentionally living. And here's the kicker, I'm actually happier for it. Today, I'm going to share why I'm extremely frugal and why living this way has brought me so much peace and fulfillment. If you are ready to discover how simplifying your life can lead to more freedom, happiness, and even financial peace, then keep watching. Trust me, this journey is one you won't want to miss. I used to live a lavish life, but life changed, people changed, so did I. In my 20s, I was living in the heart of Shanghai, China. If you've ever been there, you know that it's a city that never sleeps. Bright lights, skyscrapers, neon signs, and a constant buzz of activity. Think of it like New York or Tokyo, packed with energy, a place where trends are born and where people are always on the go. The life I was living? Pretty damn glamorous. But here's the twist. While everyone around me was living for the Instagram, I started to feel empty. Yeah, at first, I loved every second of it. But after a while, something clicked in my mind. I began to realize that the more I calculated, the more stress and anxiety I felt. It wasn't the picture-perfect life I thought it would be. It was exhausting. I remember having this moment where I looked around at all the things I had, and it suddenly hit me. Is this really what I want? That was the moment I decided to make a change. I didn't need more stuff. I didn't need to be at every event. So I took a step back. I dove into minimalism, embracing a more frugal lifestyle. And let me tell you, everything shifted. My mind cleared, my stress dropped, and my goals became so much clearer. I realized I didn't need all that chaos to feel happy. I wanted peace, simplicity, and control. And here I am today, at almost 39. I live in exactly how I want to, content, calm, and genuinely fulfilled. The life I once craved, filled with constant noise and competition, no longer holds the same appeal. And the best part is, I found my true sense of happiness when I stopped chasing something else's version of success. Life changes, and you know what? So do we. I know exactly why I live this way. You might be thinking, okay, so you've switched gears and are now living frugally, but why? What's the reason behind it? Well, let me break it down for you. For me, living frugally isn't about being cheap or depriving myself. It's not about saying no to everything I want. Far from it. It's about making intentional choices that create long-term benefits and, above all, freedom. The freedom to live life on my own terms. By keeping my spending in check, well, I'm not tied down to a mountain of debt or living paycheck to paycheck. I can do whatever I want without constantly worrying about money. And that is really priceless. Think about it. How amazing would it feel to know no matter what happens, you have the financial freedom to pick up and move to the city you choose? To know that you're not tied to a 9-to-5 grind just to cover bills or keep up with trends. That's the reality I've created for myself. Well, living frugally also gives me a sense of security that I can't put a price tag on. I'm saving for my future, building up my retirement, and putting money aside for things that truly matter. I know exactly where my money is going, and that gives me so much peace of mind. I don't have to worry about the next big expense or the latest fashion trend. Instead, I can focus on the things that are actually important to me, like my health, my relationships, and of course, my personal growth. I'm investing in experiences that will enrich my life, not just the temporary material things that fade away. I feel more secure, more focused, and more in control of my future. And honestly, that's the freedom I was searching for all along. Even though I'm frugal, I'm more than willing to spend on travel. You might be thinking, Hold up. If you are so frugal, doesn't that mean you never treat yourself? Well, not exactly. Sure, I'm carefully about how I spend, but there's one area where I'm more than willing to open my wallet: travel. Travel isn't just a luxury for me. It's an investment in experiences that enrich my life in ways money cannot measure. Whether it's hiking the stunning trails in Banff, exploring the historic streets of Montreal, or wandering through the charming alleys of Old Quebec, travel has given me some of my most cherished memories. These experiences have changed me. They've shaped my perspective, introduced me to incredible people, and expanded my understanding of the world. I think of travel as an investment in my personal growth. It's not just about seeing new places. Well, it's about learning from the world, stepping outside of my comfort zone, and connected with people from different walks of life. The lessons I've learned from these journeys are priceless. No material possession could ever give me the same sense of fulfillment. It's like an education you can't get from any textbook or classroom. When I look back on my life, well, I don't want to remember the stuff I owned. I don't care. I want to remember the places I've seen, the people I've met, and the memories I've created along the way. So while I may be frugal when it comes to certain things, travel is a non-negotiable investment for me. It's a priority that continues to pay me back with new insights, personal growth, and unforgettable experiences. If you've never considered the value of investing in travel, I'd encourage you to think twice. The extra spending on an adventure could offer you a lifetime of memories, and trust me, that's something money cannot buy. So, frugality helps me build practical skills and more confidence. So the next thing I've learned while embracing a frugal lifestyle is that it forces you to pick up real practical skills. Trust me, these skills have not only saved me a ton of money, but they've also boosted my confidence in ways I've never expected. Well, taking cooking, for example, this is a skill I've mastered over time. I used to order takeout all the time, and while there's nothing wrong with treating yourself to a nice meal out, I started cooking at home, and I've never looked back. Not only do I save money, but cooking also gives me a chance to be creative, to experiment with new recipes, and take a pride in creating something from scratch. Plus, I know exactly what's going into my meals, which gives me peace of mind that I'm making health choices. And then there's the DIY stuff. Whether it's putting together furniture, sewing a button on a jacket, or making my own cleaning products. These are small things, but they add up, and each one reinforces my belief that I don't need to rely on anyone else or spend a ton of money to get things done. The more I learn, the more I feel capable and self-sufficient. And honestly, that sense of independence is priceless. So frugality isn't just about saving a buck here and there. It's about building real skills that make life easier, which also shifts your mindset. Instead of constantly consuming, you start thinking about how you can do things yourself. Like, instead of buying the newest gadget, you ask, can I make do with what I have? Instead of hiring someone for every little task, you ask, can I learn to do this myself? This shift in mindset opens up so many possibilities, and each time you succeed, you feel like you've won a small victory. Now I'm no longer just a consumer. I'm someone who can create, repair, and improve my own life without needing to spend money on things that don't truly add value. And let's be real, feeling like you're in control of your own life is an incredible confidence boost. Okay, next one, let's clear something up once and for all. Frugal and cheap are not the same thing. I know there's a lot of confusion around this. Like, a lot of people think that being frugal means I'm always hunting for the lowest price, no matter the quality. But honestly, that's a total misconception. Frugality is all about making thoughtful, intentional decisions with your money. Sure, I could go for the cheapest option every time, but that's not my goal. I'm not focused on getting the best value for my money. Sometimes that means paying a little more upfront for something that's going to last much longer and ultimately save me money in the long run. For example, when I'm looking for a new pair of shoes, I'm not hunting for the cheapest pair I can find. Instead, I look for a pair that's well-made, durable, and versatile. The upfront cost might be a bit higher, but I know that those shoes are going to last for years and I won't need to keep replacing them. That's a smarter financial decision than buying cheap shoes every 6 months. So actually, being frugal is about prioritizing quality over quantity. It doesn't mean depriving yourself. It doesn't mean being cheap or stingy. It's about making choices that are aligned with your values and your bigger goals. It's about being mindful of your spending and choosing where to allocate your resources wisely. In the end, frugality is mindset. It's about living intentionally, not about making sacrifices just for the sake of saving a few bucks. So the next time someone called me cheap because I'm frugal, I'm just smile and know that I'm making decisions that truly benefit my life in the long run. Alright, here's a fun example of frugality in action. I've had the same computer for over 11 years now. I know what you're thinking. How on earth is that even possible? Doesn't it barely work anymore? Well, sure, it's a little slower than it used to be, but honestly, I've never been in a rush anyway. I'm more of a slow and steady kind of person, so the fact that it's a bit sluggish doesn't really bother me. It might sound a bit odd, but the longer I've had this computer, the more I've come to appreciate it. It's not just a tool, it's a part of my story. The same goes for a lot of my possessions. The longer I own something, the more I appreciate it. It's like I've developed a deeper connection to the things that truly matters in my life. They become a part of my identity, and I'm much less likely to toss them aside for something shiny and new. When you stop constantly upgrading and replacing things, you realize how much less you really need to be happy. You start to value what you already have and use it to its full potential. It's also a great reminder of how our consumer-driven society can make us forget about the value of what we already have. We've constantly told that the next best thing is just around the corner, but really, the best thing might be right in front of us already. In a world obsessed with the new and the now, there's something incredibly freeing about choosing to hold on to things for a little longer. It's a reminder that sometimes the things we already own are enough. The last one is the most important reason I live frugally. It dramatically improves my mental health. I know it might sound a bit surprising, but hear me out. The less I own, the less I have to worry about. Obvious, right? When I was living in the fast lane, constantly buying new things, upgrading my gadgets, chasing after the latest trends, I was just constantly stressed, anxious, and overwhelmed. My life was cluttered, both physically and mentally, and it feels like I was always playing catch-up. But once I started simplifying, everything changed. I started focusing on what really mattered, my health, my relationships, my experiences. Having fewer possessions means there's less to manage. I don't have to worry about where to put everything or what needs replacing next. Instead, I can focus on the things that really matter, spending time with loved ones, taking care of my health, and enjoying the experiences that make life worth living. The best part is, once you start living more frugally, the mental clutter starts to clean away. You stop feeling overwhelmed by the constant pressure to keep up with others or to constantly buy the next big thing. Instead, you start living intentionally. You create a life that feels fulfilling and aligned with your true values. And that's when you can finally breathe easy. Living frugally is really about taking control of your life. If you are thinking about adopting a more frugal lifestyle, I hope this insight helps you get started. And if you want to keep hearing more about how to live frugally and live well, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join the journey. I'd love to have you along for the ride. Until next time, bye.